Pancreas is an important endocrine organ, which is located in the abdominal cavity. Here we can see the head of the pancreas and the tail of the pancreas. It's sort of located on in the left hypochondriac region. We see the spleen over here. The stomach is part of the stomach is basically taken out. We see part of the liver. This would be more on the right side. This would be the left side, and therefore we have the pancreas. The pancreas is going to lead directly into part of the small intestine called the duodenum. On the image to the right, this is from a cadaver image, and the gland which is highlighted is the pancreas. So you should be able to recognize this highlighted organ. So if we look at the histology of the pancreas, we can see that the tissue which produces insulin and glucagon is going to look a little different than the rest of the pancreas here. We also can see it shown over here on this diagram. The region of the pancreas that secretes insulin and glucagon is called the pancreatic islets or islets of Langerhans, but we tend to just say islet cells. And what's important for you to know is that there are two distinct groups of cells called the alpha cells and the beta cells. You can ignore the delta cells and the F cells and only know the alpha cells and beta cells. So they produce the insulin as well as the glucagon. The rest of the pancreas is going to produce enzymes which help with digestion that you'll be learning about in the digestive system chapter. So the part of the pancreas which secretes these important hormones would be the pancreatic islet cells. The alpha cells secrete glucagon, and its job is to raise blood sugar during an overnight fast, for example. So whenever your blood sugar is low, your pancreas secretes glucagon from the alpha cells, and that raises your blood sugar. If you've just had a large meal, the beta cells in your pancreas are going to secrete insulin, and this does just the opposite. It lowers blood glucose. So the two hormones, like insulin and glucagon, are antagonistic hormones. And remember, we heard about another group of antagonistic hormones, which was calcitonin and parathyroid hormone. These are going to cause opposite effects as well. So insulin lowers blood sugar, glucagon raises blood sugar. Another important organ in the endocrine system is the pineal gland, and it's a small cone-shaped structure in the epithalamus. You'll remember from the nervous system that this is actually part of the diencephalon. So on this cadaver image, we can see the pineal gland actually highlighted. It's located in the posterior region of the brain, just below the corpus callosum, above the midbrain, superior to the midbrain. So the job of the pineal gland is that it secretes melatonin, and that's a hormone that makes you drowsy. So if they were to measure your melatonin production throughout the day, they would find that the melatonin would be produced at night to help set your basic circadian rhythm. If you work at night and you sleep during the day, they would discover that the melatonin would be released basically towards the end of your night shift because you become drowsy when you get home and sleep during the day. Other endocrine functions are of the gonads, and the gonads are, of course, the ovaries and the testes. They produce the primary sex hormones, and they're the target cells for both FSH as well as LH. But in this slide, we're just referring to FSH. FSH is going to trigger the production of gametes, which would be either the egg in the ovary or it would be the sperm in the testes. In the case of LH, we can see that it also affects the ovaries as well as the testes. In the ovaries, it causes ovulation as well as the production of estrogen and progesterone. So these specific hormones that are mentioned on this slide, estrogen and progesterone, are both triggered by the effects of luteinizing hormone. Within the testes is going to produce testosterone, which is the main androgen, the male sex hormone.